Now we're going to be taking a look at forms, and if you go over and you hover over the Forms tab right there, then you get these options here. We're going to look at the forms that we already have in place on the website. When you click on this here, then you're going to get a list of what you have, of course, and we can see a few basic stats over here of how many times they've been viewed, how many entries have been made with them. And if we go within this, then we can click Edit, and we're going to start with that before we even make our own new form. When we go into the form here, then we see that we have the basic components of it: name, email, phone, how we can help you. To be able to add these fields, then we have standard fields, advanced fields, and then in a little bit more complicated way, post fields and pricing fields. But most of the time you're just going to be dealing with standard fields and advanced fields. If we want people to enter in a line of text, then we click on line of text, single line of text. Come within this, and change what your field label is what it says above the field. And so we're going to say more information, and we can have a description that goes beneath it here. This is some basic info about the field to be filled out. We can make it so that then there's an input mask, and that means there's something that's by default or a certain style that it needs to be filled out in. And that would apply to these things here: phone, tax ID, social security number, things of that sort. If you want to have a maximum number of characters that people can enter, you can do that. Sometimes you really just want people to keep it short and sweet. You can set that right here, whatever number you want. We can make it required. We could make it so there's no duplicates, so that for any given person they only enter in one form. And we can have a placeholder here if we want there to be something that is within that field that is there prior to the time that they start filling anything out on it. And with a custom validation message, and that means if there's an error of some sort, then you could have it come up with another message besides just error, besides what is there by default. Change the size of the field so that it is small, medium, or large, and you can get a basic idea of what those would look like. Under advanced, then we can give it a label that is different than what the people see that are filling it out, if we want to label it somehow differently than what we have right there. And if we want to have a default value, we can do that as well. If you like to pre-populate it with something else, we can do that. It's a little bit more complicated, but it's something we could do. And for visibility, we can make it so that it's for everyone or just for us to see. Typically, you're going to have it be for everyone. To have it be filled out dynamically is a bit more complicated than what this tutorial is really for. We can look very briefly at conditional logic, and it means that we could have different things show up on the form depending on what they have clicked previously in the form. And so if we want to say, how can we help you? And then contains, and we say that anywhere within that message, if they say that they want to have more information, then this would automatically pop up then. Once they've typed that in there, then this would pop up. But more frequently what it would be is someone having a drop-down menu up above, and if they click a certain thing, so say they are interested in learning more about how to volunteer, and that's one of the drop-down menu options, then we would have additional fields that could be filled out on the basis of that. If you have questions with that, then you can check in with me. For the most part, you're going to be able to figure these things out on your own. Most of the forms you're going to be doing are simple enough. These advanced fields are not advanced really for you. They are just things that are set up beforehand to be able to make it simple to receive this information. So rather than just having a box that people fill in for email, you have a special email form here where it will validate that it is an email address. Not validate whether it is their email address, but just if it is an email address in general. When you want to update the form, then you click Update the Form. We don't want to do that right now, so we're just going to leave. We're going to look at our general form settings over here. And under Form Settings, then we can set things like the title of the form, and that can be used just for administrative purposes, or you can use that actually within the website itself as well. Right now we have it as contact, and we have a description as general contact. You can enter in whatever you want into those spots and either use them on the website or not. If you look at the post or page video tutorials, then you will see that how to do that part there. And we can make some adjustments on how things are placed within the form. We can change what it says at the end. Now we have send here rather than being submit, and there are studies done that show that people are much less likely to complete a form if it ends with the term submit at the end, something about the individualism of Americans or something of that nature. is making that an unpopular word. We have several other options down here. You always want to have it be that the anti-spam honeypot is enabled, something that's invisible to you but would be visible to those bots that are trying to perform spam on your website. You can enable or disable animations. For confirmations, then this is what happens after people have successfully completed the form. Then you can have it be that they have a confirmation that is a message that comes up on that home page, on that same page there. Or you can have it be that it goes to a different page. We're going to click Add New here so you can see what our options are. And you can have it be text, and we just enter in whatever we want. We could have it be a page, and then we select a page from our website that we want them to be redirected to. We could also redirect them to a completely different place outside of our website. And then these are things that are more detailed that you don't necessarily need to worry about. But notifications are something that do matter. This is what happens to the information when it's been submitted. Now, it will always be stored here on the website, so you can come back and look at the entries here, but we also want it to be that an email goes out to the relevant person. And so for contact, we don't really know right at this moment who the correct person is, I don't think. I don't know that we have this set up as the right name just yet. But if we go into the admin notification, now you can add new ones, so you could have several notifications on one email. And you can set up multiple email addresses within each notification too. So within notifications here, then you have the option of choosing the email addresses and the content that is sent in that email. And so we can have it be that it is admin email, that's the main email for the whole website, or you can enter in a specific email address and then you can separate them by commas and enter in more of them. You can configure routing so that you send it to a certain person if email is a certain value, phone is a certain value. If they pick certain things, it goes to certain people, depending on who the appropriate person would be. You can choose the names here, and in fact in this case we actually do want to do this, and so we can have it be the name from the form is what shows up on. I'm going to get this back in here real quick, and you all can change this to whatever email you want at some point in the future. And for the from email, then we want it to be that it's from the email that is for the person who filled out the form. And we're going to ignore reply to. For subject, we're just going to leave it by default, and right now it has all fields by default. But what you could do instead of leaving it just as it is right there is you can click this little button right here and just say all the individual things that you want. And in theory, you could also format them to be some different way so that it's easier to digest them, read them, than just having them all in a big long list. And you could also do conditional logic. We don't need to worry about that right now. We're going to actually update this because we made a change that matters, that we actually want to keep. If we want to create a new form, of course we click on New Form, and it's the same process that we went through before. You just enter these basic pieces of information and go in and add all the fields you need. When you want to insert these into a web page, then you can do that within a page or within a post or even within widgets that we find on the home page and on the sidebar. And we're going to take a quick look at that. It's also on the post and page videos, but we're going to take a quick look at it anyway, just to be sure. So you come into this, we're adding a new post. Within this, we want to add a form. And so then we go up here and we say we want to have the donate form. And we don't want the title or description. We do want Ajax because that makes it run nice and smooth. We click preview, and now we get to take a look at what this will look like if we publish it. And then we have our form right there. It's ready to go. And then we have this ending here, give today, not submit. We don't want that, but it's there now for the give today. And if we wanted to make this live, we would click publish and we would be done with it.